So I know a lot of you have met Felicity by now, but if you have not, this is Felicity. She may not be in store all of the time because that is a lot for a dog to be here that often. And she's going to sleep in her bed now. I wanted to tell you a little bit about Felicity's story for those of you who haven't seen the blog post or heard anything about Felicity. So Felicity was adopted from Center County Paws. She came up through Freedom Fences from South Carolina. So as far as we know, Felicity was at a shelter in South Carolina for about 6 months since she was a puppy. I think she was about 8 months would be my estimate of age when she went into the shelter. And she was there for 6 months until she came up to Center County Paws. And fortunately for her, the very first day that she was up for adoption was the day that we were looking for a dog. Felicity is a very lucky pup because fortunately she did not have to spend much time in the shelter kennel environment. She had foster families that she lived with for most of her life. So she's a lucky dog because this dog would not have done well in that environment. But when we went to Paws to adopt a dog, we spent the entire day open to close, meeting all of the dogs and trying to find one that we thought would fit into our home. And also, we wanted a dog to pick us. We didn't want to choose a dog. So yeah, we had met Felicity, and she was very shy, very timid, didn't really want anything to do with us. And so after looking at a lot of other dogs, we had found one named Blueberry. And we were like, well, let's go look at adopting Blueberry. So somebody actually was already doing a meet and greet with Blueberry. So we were waiting to see if that would work out or not when one of the volunteers at Paws came out and said, have you met Felicity? And we had. We're looking for an active dog. We want a dog that we can take hiking with us. We live a very active lifestyle, and we'd like a dog that would fit into that lifestyle. And she told us, well, you should go meet Felicity. So Felicity is one of those dogs who just did not show well in a kennel environment. She was very, very timid. So we went outside to meet her again for the second time. I was just sitting on the ground, and we were talking to her foster mom. I wasn't trying to pet her or anything. And she just came over, got in my lap, and wrapped her paws around my neck like a hug. And that was the moment we decided we were going to take, that Felicity had picked us, and she was now our dog. If you have adopted before, you may know that some dogs are a little bit more difficult than others. Some adjust easier than others. Felicity was on the slightly difficult end of things. It took us at least 6 months to have her fully house trained, and even beyond that, she may have had the occasional accident. But for the first 3 months, we spent a lot of time cleaning up accidents because Felicity would hold it until she literally could not hold it anymore. Even though we were taking her out constantly, it took her finding a spot on one of our walks where she peed outside, and we had to walk to that spot every single day so that she could pee there. And there were other things, like she was absolutely terrified of collars, of leashes, stuff that we would just lay a leash or a collar beside her so that she could adjust to it and then kind of sneak it on so that we weren't, we don't want to be chasing her around the house to try to put on a collar or a leash. That just becomes, poor association. So lots of treats, and just letting her just get used to it. And over time she learned that, okay, these things mean I get to go outside and we get to go for walks. It also took a very long time for Felicity to like and trust people that were not Mike and myself and our family. Even people who were, seriously dog lovers, it didn't really seem to matter with Felicity. Anybody who went for her head at all, she would back away quickly. She didn't seem too fond of children. They're very scary. They're very quick. They've got very, very quick hands that like to go for the head, so they were very scary. By taking Felicity to places like Lowe's or local pet stores or anywhere where she was allowed to go inside, even some of your local stores like TJ Maxx or whatever allow dogs, local hardware stores, we would just take her, and oftentimes people there have treats, and so that was really exciting for Felicity. She would get to go see these people and they would give her treats, and it took years, but now she's finally at a point where she really likes people, and she knows who the dog people are, and she is excited to see people. So if you currently have a rescue or are thinking about rescuing, know that it can take time, and not all dogs will make the progress that Felicity made, but a lot of that also stems from the day that Felicity came home with us. We started training. Every day Felicity and I trained together, and Mike worked with her on training, and that helped her. And positive reinforcement training, I should say, is, I think, key, and especially with these extremely sensitive dogs, because it seems to me that Felicity may have had a poor experience with training, because when she does not know what I am asking her to do, she becomes a little bit fearful, and she kind of just doesn't want to train anymore. So she definitely has a little bit of a poor association with some type of training. That's why it's also very important to pick a training that is that best suits your dog, and I really like positive reinforcement. The other thing I wanted to mention is that if you have met Felicity, if you're watching this video right now, she's just been hanging out, chilling this whole time. She is like the best dog ever. And dogs like this, who, especially the ones who are timid, they're pit bulls, they get euthanized all of the time. And this is a perfect dog. She doesn't bark. She likes to nap, but she likes to play. I mean, we keep up with her training, and we take daily walks. But right now she actually hasn't had very many walks because it's been freezing cold outside. She's just hanging out. So, yes, just think about that as you might consider adding a pet to your family. Go to a local shelter, meet some of the dogs, ask a lot of questions. Maybe there's one there that fits into your home. The other thing is, if you don't have, if you're not looking to add a dog to your family or a cat, consider fostering if you're able, even if it's just for a short period of time. You can always volunteer. That's an incredible way to help out these local shelters. But I know Felicity would have never made it to Pennsylvania if it wasn't for having a foster family here. So fostering is an incredible thing to do. Or if you're not able to do that, volunteer your time. Get your kids involved. I think that's incredible. People get their kids involved. They learn from a very young age. Shelters they have puppies. They have puppies often. They have purebreds. Call around, look, and see what might be out there for you. If you are absolutely going to purchase a dog, and you're going to go that route, I would ask your breeder a lot of questions, and I would want to see where those puppies are living and how the parents are living. Just make sure you're purchasing dogs from reputable breeders. So really the whole point of me coming to tell you Felicity's story is just that I want people to be aware of how incredible these rescue dogs can be. Know that it is not always easy. I'm not going to tell you that you are going to walk into a shelter and take home a perfect dog. Some of them take a lot of time and training, and you have to be committed to making that dog fit well in your home, whether that be working with a professional or doing it yourself. Luckily for us, Felicity was not at all aggressive. She wasn't fear aggressive, but she was very clearly timid and fearful of lots of things. So we had to make sure to take things very slowly with her and have a lot of patience. Patience is key. When Felicity would have an accident in the house, it was never her fault. Never once was it her fault, and she never was punished for having an accident in the house. Felicity and I hope that you will at least consider adopting when you are looking to add a dog or cat to your home. And Felicity would love it if you were to stop by the store to see her. You will possibly get greeted with hugs and kisses, and I can tell you for a fact that that is something that would not have happened over a year ago. So these incredible dogs, they can make amazing progress, but just know that it's not always easy and it does take time, but the outcome is invaluable. It's amazing to know it's just amazing to watch these dogs grow and learn and trust. And trust me, it's well worth it, the time and energy that you might have to put into a rescue dog, because they know that you saved them, and